So Michael Jackson said it himself. A song can have an incredible power on the audience, especially when they sing a song's chorus like over and over again. Then according to Jackson, they start to hear it in the alpha state and the subconscious mind. So one starts to become what they are saying. And I will show you how you can reel that incredible power in your songwriting and be able to write a chorus that empowers people, that can make an impact on them and even change the way they think or view themselves. And there are 5 different ways how to write an empowering chorus like that. And they increase in their power depending on the impact you aim for. And we will go through all 5 of them. Now, first of all, what's a chorus? According to its definition, it's many people singing together. But for songwriters, it comes down to one important aspect. It's the section of the song that someone will remember and sing along to first, because of its repetition throughout the song. But how can you give your listeners a reason to want to sing along to the song? You know, when I had just turned 19, I was traveling through Australia. I was on the road with a friend of mine. We had an old van and that was our wheels to get to places, but we also slept in it so that we could actually save money. But still, I had run out of cash after 1 month of traveling, and my friend had to return home to Germany 1 month earlier than planned. And I still had 1 more month to go, and he also sold the van. So from one day to the next, I didn't have accommodation or enough money to support myself for another month. So what did I do? I walked through the streets of Cairns. The sun was like grinning up there in the blue sky, and all I had was my MP3 player. And so I walked and walked. I had no clue what to do. I thought walking would help, and I listened to the song Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day on repeat all the time. I don't know for how many hours, as I just walked through those streets, wondering about what I can do. And it was just this song constantly in my ear. And you know, like since that MP3 player was brand new, I didn't know like there was a button to make a song go on repeat. So this was back in 2007, okay? So I know we are all laughing about this now, but I didn't know that at the time. MP3 players were a new thing, and I never had one before. I still had like a CD player, a portable CD player. So this was something like, wow, this was so cool. And so without knowing there's actually a repeat button, what I did instead, I was just hitting like that skip back button that I knew from the portable CD player. So I did that over and over again, and then one time I missed it. And since the player was on shuffle mode, another song came on. And that one was from one of my favorite German bands. And their song, like suddenly it kicks in and I go from Green Day's I Walk Alone right to this song here. And listening to those words allowed me to have this identity shift. I could stay in the mindset of I walk alone and I'm on this boulevard of broken dreams. Or I could stand up and see how my life can change. So it was one song, one chorus, like changed everything for me. And if you want to make the same difference in someone's life, the first thing you need to consider, even before you start writing the chorus, is knowing your song's message. What message do you want your audience to take away from the song? You have to know if you are writing a song that is supposed to show someone the way to a better place by building a bridge for them, and with your chorus giving them the go signal so they know they can follow that path because it's prescriptive. Or do you want to help them avoid the catastrophic consequences of falling down into an even worse situation than where they already are? So this means by providing a warning with your song. So knowing what kind of takeaway you are aiming for is what you need to be clear about first. And for any song that should provide this empowering chorus, it's to focus on the positive. So if you want to write a song that makes a positive difference in people's lives, then this is nothing more than solving problems for people. It's taking them on a transformational journey. That's it. The essence of writing emotionally compelling lyrics that mean something and that are empowering is through solving problems. This is a big part of why it matters to be clear on what you want to achieve with your song's chorus. There should be this future state outcome that you are leading the people into who listen to your song. You're using your words to create worlds. Words create worlds. You are speaking into existence this future state that you are willing and able to take people into with your song. You're taking people that are in some form of pain. There's things about their life that they want to change, and you take them into the promised land as you define it for them. And that promised land, that better place, is whatever the outcome of your song is. So to write lyrics that move people, okay, we gotta move them. And we can only move them by helping them get from where they are to where they want to be. You know, to come back to what Michael Jackson said, we can change our subconscious mind through the things we say, through the things we sing. The way our brain is designed to work is in a manner to keep us in alignment and in integrity with who we believe ourselves to be. There's some hardwiring in us that guides us and leads us to maintain integrity with who we believe we are. It's all how we perceive ourselves and the people and things in the world around us, what we notice or don't notice, where we put our focus. That's all part of our identity. And a song can change someone profoundly. Just look back at the song "I'll Be There For You" by the Rembrandts. The verses of the song are all about the problem. Someone thinks that they are stuck and everything they encounter supports that belief. And then the chorus is empowering because it tells us no matter how messed up our life is, there's someone we can count on, a friend. And this is a powerful contradiction between the verses and the chorus, because in the verses they believe that life was one thing, but then in the chorus we show them there's a different perspective, okay? And that's how we can change the way they look at the world. So remember, your verses can deal with the problem, but to make your empowering message stick, put the empowering lines in the chorus, because that's what people sing along to. That's what they remember because of its repetition. After all, we want to sing along to something that we want to believe in and that lifts up our spirits, right? That makes us feel good about ourselves. That gives us this invincible feeling that we can take on whatever problem we are dealing with. And the power of transformation is in those words. And if the listener sings along to them, they speak that empowering thought out loud. They speak it to themselves because it makes them feel better already. And then it will get into their alpha state, into their subconscious mind, depending on how many times they repeat those lines and sing along to them and listen to that song. And with that said, now I'm going to show you 5 ways what you can put into your chorus to make it empowering. So let's start with a kind of chorus option that we might not call like super empowering, but that still delivers a positive message in an almost like calm way. So for example, your refrain line or your chorus can give people a new hope. That's like what John Lennon did with his song Imagine. That's also what worked for the Beatles with their song Here Comes the Sun. It's a new hope that they are giving to people. Or another song that works well to give the listeners a new hope is What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. Or It's Beautiful Day by U2 that inspires hope as well, helping someone see that not all is lost, but it depends on what we focus on to be able to perceive that there are things that are still good in this world. Now, if we want to move towards more empowering songs, instead of just giving people a new hope, we can also change how they feel. We could let them enjoy a certain feeling, something that they want to feel, and we help them focus on that feeling with what we put into the chorus. For example, we can let them feel victorious, like in the song Viva la Victoria by Eclipse. If you don't know that song, you should definitely listen to that one, because it just makes your heart feel like you can conquer anything. If you are on their side, like you feel like, oh, I can do anything. It's like so empowering to shout along with them and sing Viva la Victoria. It's so cool. Or to evoke that feeling, you can just do it like Bobby McFerrin and just state it out loud. Don't worry, be happy. Or it can be really joyful, like I'm walking on sunshine. Or you can help someone focus on just being grateful for being alive, just like in the song Alive by Sia. Or you wrap it in some more words like the Bee Gees in their song Staying Alive. Now, to make your song even more empowering, it's also possible to give your audience a specific action that they can do, just like the song's main character does, like the same action. It gives them that one specific action that will help them overcome that problem. For example, that's what Miley Cyrus did in her song Flowers. She is buying herself flowers, and this becomes this one specific action that someone can actually do. It's not complicated, but they can actually do that to move on with their life after a breakup. Or in Eminem's song, Lose Yourself, he animates everyone to better lose themselves in the music. Because we all know what music can do for us. It's like the center of this entire video, right? And in his song, Sing for the Moment, he also wants the audience to sing along with him, to sing for that moment, which is also connected to a very powerful feeling, right? This feeling of connection, to be in that group, they all sing together. And Bruce Springsteen wants to help the audience regain their sense of freedom, letting them know it's okay to escape from a place that keeps them stuck. Or Katy Perry wants everyone to roar as loud as a lion, which is also an empowering action that we can actually do to feel the strength of a lion, to feel powerful again. Or what we want them to do can even be more subtle, like in Lean on Me by Bill Withers. Or you do it like Pharrell Williams, who just said that we all have to clap our hands together to feel happy. This is a combination of an action and a feeling in one. Now, one of the most powerful ways to make an impact with your chorus on someone is by giving people a new belief. So this is not as fragile as in your hope, but it can change us in how we look at ourselves or the world. For example, in the song Stronger by Kelly Clarkson, it's a powerful mindset shift to understand that everything that you survive, it makes you better equipped for what's to come. In I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor, we have someone who felt like a chained up little person and they became able to survive on their own. Her new belief is knowing that she will survive. And this helped her through the hardship. And the song Beautiful by Christina Aguilera expresses a positive shift by focusing on how you want your audience to look at themselves. And Born This Way by Lady Gaga is another one of those songs that gives us the power to accept ourselves and the way we are. And the strongest and most empowering chorus is when you give people a new identity. That's like the biggest transformational shift that you can achieve for your listeners. For example, like in Titanium by David Guetta feat. Sia, where the new identity is about being titanium, not only feeling as strong as titanium, but becoming it. Or the Monkees sing, I'm a believer, as someone has changed from thinking love is only true in fairy tales to having become a true believer. That is their new identity. Or we have Superwoman by Alicia Keys. Again, as you can see, the key to giving someone a new identity is by saying, I am. We call out the identity as who we want our audience to become, or who we ourselves as the singer, who we want to become. Even as a songwriter, who do you want to become? And you just state it out loud. I am a fighter. I am a superwoman. I'm a superman. I'm titanium. I'm a believer. And the song Fighter by Christina Aguilera allows people to see that the challenges someone put into their way only help them to become a fighter. So here we don't have the statement, I am a fighter, but she mentions the transformation. Thanks for making me a fighter, which is becoming that new person, that taking on that new identity. And lastly, if you're a very skilled writer, you can also turn the problem with which your song starts into an empowering chorus or refrain line. For example, Twisted Sister has achieved this with their song, We're Not Gonna Take It, which also makes a great and defiant title, right? So basically, this can be an action you want people to rally behind. The song starts with that line, and that line is also in the chorus. And it's also this title. Just very easy to remember, right? Same concept in Green Day's American Idiot. The song starts with that line, don't want to be an American idiot. And it's repeated as the song's refrain line to remind everyone of it. But the main thing when it comes to writing an empowering song is that the true power lies in the art of writing song lyrics. You want to make the listener feel understood, and you want to lead them to a better place. And in those kind of songs where you are aiming for having an empowering chorus, then you want to lead them to a better place. And it all depends on how you communicate with them and take them on a journey with your song's main character. So all those songs I just mentioned, they aren't popular because of just giving people a new identity, a new belief, a new path of action, a good feeling, or inspire hope. They achieve that because we have that transformation of the song's main character's internal or external situation in the lyrics. They tell a story. They provide contrast between where someone used to be and the better place they got to. And that's why they inspire, because the problem the song's main character deals with is something almost everyone can relate to. It's specific, but also universal. And that's how we do it. But we can't just talk about that perfect place. We can't just get them hooked by addressing their problem and then shift to that better place without building a bridge for them. We gotta take them on a journey. We gotta tell a story to show them the way to move forward and how they can achieve that positive shift in their own life as well. We tell them the story to show them the way. Because if we only jump from one side to the other, then they have no clue how they can actually get to that better place. That's what the story is for. And just as a side note here, we don't put the problem in the chorus, because that would mean we focus on the problem instead of the solution. We would just put more salt in the wound. You can only put the problem in the chorus if you do it like in the song I'm Just Ken, where the chorus that includes the problem does not get repeated after the song's main character had that important transformational shift. But this means you don't have a chorus your audience can actually sing along to. So you have to find another ending to your song that is just as powerful. So the easiest way to write an empowering chorus is to focus on something uplifting. So let the verses deal with the problem and put those empowering lines in the chorus.